heard it. He struck the fellow in the face with his fist, then picked up a rock from the street. The tough made a rush at Billy, and as he passed Ed Moulton, he planted a blow back of his ear and laid him sprawling on the ground. This act cemented a friendship between Ed Moulton and the future young outlaw. About 3 weeks later, Ed Moulton got into a fight with two toughs in Joe Dyer's saloon. He was getting the best of the fight. The young blacksmith who had insulted Mrs. Antrim and who had been knocked down by Ed Moulton saw a chance for revenge. He rushed at Moulton with an uplifted chair. Billy Bonney was standing nearby on nettles, ready to render assistance to his benefactor at a moment's notice. The time had now arrived. He sprang at the blacksmith and stabbed him with a knife 3 times. He fell over dead. Billy ran out of the saloon, his right hand dripping with human blood. Now to his dear mother's arms, where he showered her pale cheeks with kisses for the last time. Realizing the result of his crime, he was soon lost in the pitchy darkness of the night, headed towards the southwest, afoot. For 3 days and nights, Billy wandered through the cactus-covered hills without seeing a human being. Luck finally brought him to a sheep camp, where the Mexican herder gave him food. From the sheep camp he went to McKnight's ranch and stole a horse, riding away without a saddle. 3 weeks later, a boy and a grown man rode into Camp Bowie, a government post. Both were on a skinny, sore-back pony. This newfound companion had a name and history of his own, which he was nursing in secret. He gave his name to Billy as Alias, and that was the name he was known by around Camp Bowie. Finally, Billy, having disposed of his sore-back pony, started out for the Apache Indian Reservation, with Alias afoot. They were armed with an old army rifle and a 6-shooter, which they had borrowed from soldiers. About 10 miles southwest of Camp Bowie, these two young desperadoes came on to 3 Indians who had 12 ponies, a lot of pelts, and several saddles, besides good firearms and blankets. In telling of the affair afterwards, Billy said, "It was a groundhog case. Here were 12 good ponies, a supply of blankets, and 5 heavy loads of pelts. Here were 3 bloodthirsty savages reveling in luxury and refusing help to 2 free-born white American citizens, footsore and hungry. The plunder had to change hands. As one live Indian could place 100 United States soldiers on our trail, the decision was made. In about 3 minutes there were 3 dead Indians stretched out on the ground, and with their ponies and plunder we skipped. There was no fight. It was the softest thing I ever struck." About 100 miles from this bloody field of battle, the surplus ponies and plunder were sold and traded off to a band of Texas emigrants. Finally, the 2 young brigands settled down in Tucson, where Billy's skill as a Monte dealer and card player kept them in luxuriant style, and gave them prestige among the sporting fraternity. Becoming tired of town life, the 2 desperadoes hit the trail for San Simon, where they beat a band of Indians out of a lot of money in a fake horse race. The next we hear of Billy Bonney is in the state of Sonora, Old Mexico, where he went alone, according to his own statement. In Sonora, he joined issues with a Mexican gambler named Melquiades Segura. One night, the 2 murdered a Monte dealer, Don Jose Martinez, and secured his bankroll. Now the 2 desperadoes shook the dust of Sonora from their feet and landed in the